So you know Intellivision, right? Come on, tell me you know Intellivision. I'm not going to explain Intellivision to you. They made game consoles, but it was like the 80s, and so they were all really bad, and people liked them because it was the 80s. And all companies had to do at the time was crank out the bare minimum that would be qualified as a game console, and instant money. And then people decided to stop buying them, and let's just say there was a considerable amount of profit loss there, and the whole video game industry almost died, and that would have not been good for people who like to play video games. So, on a completely different note, sometime in the early 2000s, they were somehow still around in the early 2000s, albeit not really doing anything, and they decided, let's, rent out our likeness to all these companies so that they can make products with our branding on it that people will buy, and then we can get a cut of the money. And they rented it out to a certain techno source. And if you know techno source, you'll know that they make pop stations. And if you know techno source, you know that they will take every opportunity available to slap their branding on a pop station. So that is what they did with the Intellivision 2-player system, which has, in fact, nothing to do with Intellivision, and is just a pop station with some Intellivision branding on it. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's just an unbranded version of this. It's from Intellivisionlives.com, which was a site that I don't recall what it was, but I believe it was just a catalog of all the Intellivision-related pop stations they had for sale at the time, because yes, there were more of these. This is sort of the only actual pop station-y one with swappable screens, or maybe there was another. No, there was another one with swappable screens, but yeah, we got some games. We got 1 or 2 player action, in case you have a friend that you want to torture as well. You have the games, which would normally be in these little things here in the console. Over here we got Black Belt Battle and Hover Force. And then I believe normally there would be something denoting the game in the middle as Sea Battle, which it is. It is Sea Battle. On the back of the box, oh yeah, we got the Technosource logo here. On the back of the box we got, Hover Force, Black Belt Battle, and Sea Battle. 3 games included. Requires 2 AG13 button cells. The interesting bit about that was that the button cells that came with this actually worked fine until about, they worked fine with this for about a year, which is impressive considering this is from 2005. There's a little guide how to replace the battery, how to battery replacement. We got precaution, just the one precaution. You don't get multiple precautions. They couldn't afford them. You can see these were little things that peeled off, and I just decided to shove them in the box. This is also crooked. It was not like that when I got it. A barcode. If you want to scan that, you can. There goes my refrigerator. If you want to scan that, you can scan that. Product specifications and colors may vary. Thanks for that. Again, no sad onions, sadly. Complete 2-player, 3-cartridge video game system. I would hardly consider this a video game system. It's the bare minimum for what you could consider a video game system. And while that might have been acceptable in Intellivision's day, 2 things. 1, Intellivision had absolutely nothing to do with this other than signing a contract. They had absolutely no say in the production of this thing. And 2, that's not acceptable anymore. You can't just make the bare minimum of video game consoles and then expect people to buy it. Or expect people to buy it. You can't just do the bare minimum of talking and expect people to not yell at you in the comments for your grammar mistakes and word pronunciation. Be bad to say word. Here's the unit itself. This is just bulging out because it's a brittle piece of plastic that has been in here since 2005, I believe. I believe this is a 5. No, it isn't. 2003. It's older. It's even older than I said it was previously. It may look like an 8, but it is indeed a 3 if you tilt it a certain way. We'll stand for standing it. stand it up on things, and here's the front of the console. We got that Intellivision logo, which again, they have nothing to do with the console. Reset, start, pause, mute, off, and then this actually has the most interesting system of changing cartridges I've ever seen. You twist, focus, as I was saying, you twist this. I should probably be zooming in. You twist that, cartridge comes out, and then you put in the other cartridge that you want to be playing of, and you just sort of hold it in while you twist this back on top of it. You're going to be playing Sea Battle since that came in the console. And that is what was in the console, because I keep them on display, although I keep these in bins because I don't have enough room for displaying them. That'll be mitigated soon. We'll figure that out. And then two just absolutely minuscule. You cannot believe how minuscule. Let me fetch like an everyday object that people know how long it is typically. Maybe potentially like a pencil. That's something that people use, right? Pencils. People use pencils, right? I'm pretty darn sure people use pencils. They did last I checked. Then again, last I checked was 10 or 20 years ago, and I wasn't alive then. Or maybe I was alive. I don't remember. I don't remember anything about who am I. Yeah, it's a pencil. This is the size of the controller compared to a pen. Let's play the video game. If you can even call it that, it's a pop station. I don't even know if you can see this. Barely. Oh god. Oh, I hit buttons. I hit the wrong button. My button pressing skills are not good today. That's better. Now you can actually see things. There's a submarine up there. Hold on. Oh, and there's a sort of a little splash where I'm assuming the game over is supposed to appear, but since these are not built very well, the background is actually lopsided in the cartridge, so it's not going to look good. Turn it on. Come on. Oh, there you go. I don't know what that was. Boop. Yeah, it lets you select 1 or 2 player mode. This pop station. Sick beats. Hitting A does nothing. I suppose I'd better start it. It would also let you select the level because pop station, but you can either only select the level or the player. You gotta select the level before the players because pop station. And then, standard submarine invasion strategy, which is just sit here and push the A button until you blow up enough things to get the required amount of points. Because, pop station. This game is not designed very well. Although I don't get to blame the pop stations for that. I get to blame Casio. They made the original game that these guys essentially made a rip-off of. And then, now other submarines are going to come at us. Watch this. Watch that. Oh yeah, submarines up top, they get to, and pretty much the same strategy, just sit here and push the A button repeatedly. It's like the only pop station game that I'm even remotely good at. And then I believe it's 300 is the required amount of points, although we're about to see, yeah. And then other submarines. So that means we just gotta do this. You gotta hit both buttons. And then after this, we'll get the required amount of points, then we'll go on to 2, and then, stuff will start going faster, and it'll cycle off. Oh, it kept my high score. Off. Next up, we have Hover Force. given the fact that this game was coded incorrectly, and runs way too fast on pretty much every pop station in existence, I don't have much hope for this. This is a helicopter game, in case you were unaware. But this runs way too fast on, like, every pop station, and so, because of an error in the codering, so I don't have much hope for this one being actually playable. It's the game with the helicopters. Yeah, it's running way too fast. These noises are that I am making. Yeah, it's the game where you blow up the helicopters and then, you know, for some reason it lets you blow up your own bases and that kills you. If you want to commit suicide, you have the means with which to do that. I'm not very good at this game, am I? I'm just gonna kill myself. Oh, I'm hitting the pause button. It's weird because the buttons are in a weird order that I'm not used to on pop stations. And then Black Belt Battle, which I'm sure everyone here can guess what this is. I'll give you a bit of, is it the racing game, the soccer game, or the game where two men pull their own arms and legs off and throw them at each other? I'll let you guess right now. It's the game where people pull their own arms off and throw them at each other. That's the series theme. It was the City Fighter theme before it was the series theme. No, I just was drunk on the screen. My rare collectible pop station that you can find on eBay for like $15. Oh, that was the start button, and that was the on button, and I even said on when pushing it. I'm going insane. Yeah, it's the classic. It's Street Hunter, actually. They've changed the branding, presumably they don't want to get sued. And I don't know what these things that I'm doing with my hands are of Arby's. I've heard that they have the meats. Oh good, it's one of the ones where you get to choose. I will be left man. Just spam A and like do this. And then that's pretty much how you win. Except for that these controls are spongy and unresponsive and don't work. So bottom line, I'm not awfully good at this. If solely because of the fact that the controls just absolutely suck, although I appear to be doing pretty good at this. Really, a good fighter strategy is just spam the A button and push the up button. And that's how you win. Especially since the time is either going to run out or I'm going to kill them. I wave my hand in the air as I am victorious. That's enough of that. So yeah, really just a sort of a normal pop station type thing, except for Intellivision branding, and that makes it somewhat interesting. Next on Pop Station Watch, the Arby's Pop Station.